Hello everybody, it's currently 3 a.m., close to 4 a.m. I got back from Worlds 2 days ago and I am jet lagged as hell. I've been trying to adjust, but for some reason my sleep has just been like fragmented into 4-hour blocks throughout the day. And so the point I'm trying to make here is that I have a lot of things to do. And I might as well shoot this while I'm waiting for tiredness to kick in again and hopefully get on a normal back on a normal sleep schedule. Anyway, Worlds was Worlds. Finals sucked, but other than that, it was a lot of fun seeing everybody. And I got like a marginal 5-blind NR, so who cares? Anyway, I was planning, like, I know obviously last week I wasn't able to make one of these. And hopefully you'll forgive me. Worlds was extremely busy. I actually wanted to make like a special episode with sort of like an X-Cubers 1 scramble as the weekly one for this one, but there was just no time. And the time was spent doing better things. So yeah. Anyway, hopefully I'll keep back on track. I'm probably not going to be cubing a lot. Just because of the unfortunate outcome of Worlds plus start of school plus that stuff. There's just somewhat of a lack of motivation. For some reason, I have a motivation to do 5-blind and try to finally get sub 3 official. But other than that, 3-blind has been kind of annoying. And yeah, so we can start with the example solves. Again, I'm in kind of a weird place now. Well, just at my country house, and I didn't bring up cubes because I wasn't planning on cubing, but then I realized that I could film this, and so I went in my I sort of have a storage bin of cubes I don't use anymore, so I don't keep them at the house, like the main house. And I got out my non-magnetic GTS3, so hopefully there won't be any lockups or anything. So our buffer is twisted. And this is sort of like a type 1 cycle break or type 2 cycle break situation where we want to look for like a pattern of colors that will force a good comm. So obviously this one leads to kind of bad comm in this one, and we can see that right away. So we don't want to do that. So we're going to cycle break here. And that one is fairly good. We continue tracing, and then we have this LTCT, which is fine. So we want to force UF/UR swap unless something comes up, but it would have to save. We just want to do the LTCT. You don't want to really force another swap because then there could be weird stuff. I mean, you can force like this one as the last target, maybe UF/UL swap and then do parity and then twist, but it's too complicated. LTCT saves quite a bit of time. So we'll just do UF/UR swap. So here and then here, and then wait. Yeah, so this is pseudo buffer. I mean, we could leave it here and flip it, but let's just break here because this looked good. Again, this is like a type 2 type of cycle break where we land on it on the second target and we have to go somewhere. So I see this sort of color pattern here, which will lead to fast comm. So we might as well do that. Then come back to here and then continue. And then we have this 2 flip. So this is actually a case of like we're leaving after this first one. Leaving it would suck because then we would leave it and then we'd continue to UB and then we'd have like this weird 4 flip type thing. So it's good that we made the decision to break here. I mean, you add a comm. It's not the best. By the way, after this, I cycle broke here because that's a really fast comm. And what you want to avoid is cycle breaking like here and then going here. Some people do that by instinct, and I know over the past couple of videos, I've really tried to emphasize not doing that, but I will continue to do so. Anyway, first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. That was really fast, and then this flip. I could have done this flip at the start. It doesn't really make a difference. Remember, we didn't break here, we went here. I'm going to use, I think I talked about this. There's 2 ways to do this comm, this one and this one. I'll do this one, continuing on like this, and then LTCT, done. Next, scramble. There, finish cycle. And then we have here to here to here as a DFR floating cycle. And I actually know this comm. So we have some nice dealer floating there, and no parity, meaning no pseudo swap. So it's probably gonna be boring solve. And then, okay, we have this 2e2e that we can visual and figure something out. So not the most exciting solve. We could cancel here. Let me undo that. So this is sort of a deceiving cancel because it's an L wide move into an R move. This is actually something you should be on the lookout, because you can cancel a lot of moves usually. Or even if it's like L moves into R moves. It's not a very straightforward cancel, but it's good. So like we have an F L wide, but you can realize that's the same as F F R wide. Whatever. Anyway, it cancels into this comm, which I use. I mean, I know there's other options. There's like this or something, but I really like this one, and it cancels there, so that's good. Now we have to choose where to cycle break, and in this case, you have in a 2e2e, it's sort of like, it's like, I would say like 2.5 options, because if you go, like you could choose any of these two and any of these two to break to. But let's say if you choose this one, it's going to be the same comm as if you chose this one, just inverse. So it leads to similar solution. Like you still have whichever one you pick here or here, there's a one here that forces the same inverse comm as the second. And so anyway, that doesn't matter. We're going to shoot here because then that keeps this righty, right? We could have also gone here and then here to here, but that has like, I would say, a more awkward regrip. But anyway, oh, okay, this is a good example of sort of, what do I call it, cycle rearrangement. So we do this first comm. The second comm is the worst comm in all of history. I hope you guys know that, because you have to regrip your left hand down. And anyway, so we don't want to regrip that down and regrip back up and then do the DFR. So we're going to DFR first. Oh my god, it's extremely locky. But anyway, we're going to do one UFR cycle, one DFR cycle, because it's in the same grip, and then rotate down. And we get to cancel that final rotation, which is quite nice. Or not rotation, left hand regrip. It's really nice because it's super awkward to regrip down and back up. But that may just be a me issue. Anyway. Also, at Worlds, I noticed that like not everybody has English as their first language. And I do speak fairly fast and ramble quite a bit in these videos. And I wish that I could slow down and explain things more, and maybe I'll do that in future more like tutorial style videos, but it's easier for me to just express my thoughts fully like this. Yeah, so if you don't speak English as your first language, I'm sorry that I'm going so fast. And yeah. Anyway. Next scramble. Okay, so we just have like a 9, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've been getting used to this new terminology a bit more. So we have a 7 cycle of corners plus a twist. That's like a fairly common thing you'll see. And then we have this is flipped, and I know after tracing these 3 ones that I'm sort of near the end. And so I'm going to make the decision. Wait, 1. Yeah, I know I'm sort of near the end because I know I've solved these pieces, in the meaning that there's these left. So I'll make the decision to float even though my buffer's flipped. And then usually when you do that, you have many options. So we go here, 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 here. So what we're going to do is do that float, and then I'm feeling like this, so I'm going to do this. We're going to force a fast calm by doing, this is something I talked about the seminar at North American Champs, or I guess more specifically Noah talked about it. But when you have a floating cycle, plus like another floating cycle, you can do this floating cycle, and basically there's no reason that you have to go in this order and force this one to be flipped. You could also shoot to like the wrong side of this one and then the correct side and force this one to be flipped, or this side and then the wrong side of this one and force this one to be flipped. So although this calm is fast enough, I kind of like this one better, and we're going to force DR to be flipped, and then hopefully during edges we can break into it, and we can here. You can force a mover plus a whatever mover, and that's quite fast. Another thing, when you float like this, you can visual those two calms pretty quickly because you're doing them right at the beginning, and so that saves quite a bit of time in memo. Even if you're not choosing the best option for comms in edges, that time saved in memo is non-negligible. I mean, everybody goes and sits down and times comms for like 20 hours straight, trying to force speed, like whatever freaking speed optimal comms. But I know people also forget that there's an entire other part of the solve called memo, where there's objectively time to be saved. A lot of time to be saved, and you don't even have to worry about finger tricks or anything. You just do certain tricks and save time in memo. And I mean, I think that's what makes my solves the speed that they are, versus my turning kind of sucks, but I mean compared to other people's, but I take a lot of pride in my memo tricks, and so that's an example of like, you know, there's time to be saved in memo and you can't ignore that. Anyway, corners are going to be boring. Okay, what happened? Did I corner twist this? I feel like I did. Yeah, I did. Let me undo this. Oh, shoot. Anyway, that's first corner, that's the second corner, and then this, and then this twist. So that's fully regripless. That's quite nice. Anyway, I'm going to do this to see. Oh, by the way, this calm here, I guess it was the inverse, right? Anyway, this, you could do it many ways. You could do like this, or like that, or you do R2F. So I mean, that's one of the ones where you could choose what you use based on grip. But most of the time I do this just because it feels the best to me. So let's see what would have happened if, yeah, if we didn't float, it would have given like okay cycles. But I think that floating option was arguably objectively better. I know that those combination of words don't make a lot of sense, but yeah. So again, lots of things to be learned in that. In those couple of solves, or I guess 3 solves. I apologize for my rambling and stuff. As you can see, the time not optimal. Thanks for watching, and I will be back next week. And maybe I'll try to stick to Saturdays for these solves, because that's when I have a couple of spare minutes, but we'll see. Yeah, so thanks for watching.